Okay.
It's going. We're doing it. Hey, everybody, it's Ace Attorney. Objection. I object to having to work at 5 a.m. tomorrow/today, which is why I woke up a little bit ago. Anyway, hey, it's 15th April Baker Street. See, that's why I ain't grown-ups. All I do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh, really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What?
Oh my, surely you were given that.
Yeah, do you let me keep it after I looked daggers at him long enough? They went through pockets and then said, go on in, have it, before telling me to scarper. Always pays off giving people look like you ate them. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. Well, really, one was that nice shiny disc, mind.
The music box disc.
But Mr. Windibank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go ahead and have another bash. Give it a long, hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Windibanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windibank. Well, this mine. I had a ticket for his coat and it was in the coat's pocket. And there should be something else in all. That's what's rotten the coat. That's what that rotten coat said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well, that's mine too, whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. No, oh. But I wanted to play my violin. Why would I come round your place, eh? You lost your head or something? What did she just steal? There was a stealing sound effect just now.
Oh dear, she's gone.
Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Swear to God, if she doesn't close the door all the way, okay, good. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. Hi, Mologai, also. I think I already said that, but my brain is kind of spaghetti. And one more thing. Okay. I should be glad of your company later, too. Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you.
Oh, how exciting. What is it?
You shall have to wait and see, Miss Susato. Until later, then. Oh, oops. Thank you. Well, shit, I guess we're going to Mr. Sholmes' house. She came in here just to tell me I left the fridge open and then left again. "15th April, 3:46 p.m., Sholmes' suite. Oh, Susie and Bruno, come in. Good afternoon, Iris.
Thank you so much for breakfast this morning.
Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already.
Busy as always?
I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening.
Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you?
Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess.
Look at those little eyes of hers shining.
Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it?
It's Ginny, isn't that exciting?
Oh, what a surprise. Yes, that's wonderful news.
Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea.
I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional.
Excuse? Oh yes, that does sound like fun.
I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo?
By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Just staring blankly at his desk.
Hurley, oh, he's been like that ever since he got back.
Listen, I can relate. Hello, Mr.
Sometimes
Sholmes.
you just gotta parse.
I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I'm glad this is just gonna be the chapter of Sholmes being moody the whole time.
I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything.
Yes, I see.
Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does.
You, on the other hand.
Yeah, don't have it in me tonight, Mola guy.
One of
Mr.
these
Sholmes and
nights.
Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they?
Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. Dead. One of them.
Dead.
I don't know. Don't know about the other one.
What's the matter, Bruno? You have ever such a funny look on your face.
No, it's nothing.
I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right?
How? How did you...
Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book.
Ugh, this girl is dangerous.
Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind.
Hey, did your dad die in Japan recently? Ginny. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade? You mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right?
Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher.
And still has it.
And still has it.
Although after the trial, invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends.
Oh, hee hee. What a lovely tale.
Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can.
Oh.
And I chased her down in the back alleys.
Interesting idea of friendship.
And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed.
Why?
Oh.
There's so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow.
I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you?
Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now.
Poor Hurley.
Oh, I can't wait for
Yes,
Ginny to
Boker,
arrive.
you're breaking news.
Game of the year is It Takes Two? Damn, that's a surprise, genuinely.
What are you talking about? There's no copyrighted game named It Takes Two.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You can't just say vague game names like that. That could be anything. That's like saying the newest game is Shoot Man.
I've been playing Shoot Man Ring World all day. Except for when I was asleep.
Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited.
I went a little bit Irish there for like half a second. I just hope she actually does come.
It's probably because you read the name Iris.
Very possible.
Man, I can't
my
believe they
brain just
got Game of the
attached-
Year even with... What's that guy's name? Dr. Hakim?
Yeah, correct.
The horrifying bookman?
You mean the DJ publisher?
I'm sure you've been wondering why
Yeah,
it is
we
that I live
talking
here
about
with
the-
Hurley, haven't you?
Go on.
We talking about the game studio?
Yeah, I
Take
think
Two?
so. Yeah, it's just one game of
must
the year,
be.
the whole studio.
The whole studio.
Including
Wow, that's really
including the GTA trilogy release that just came out. Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents?
My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore.
They aren't with any of us.
Mummy passed away when I was
they?
born.
Oh, bummer.
And around the same time, my father... Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on.
Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley?
Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together.
She didn't mention that before.
He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's that's in the metal chest over there.
Really? He recorded them all?
So you mean it's true, Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases.
Oh, yes. I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it?
So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father?
Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in that chest, but that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it.
Ah. And you... That's not my line.
And you found your father's memoirs.
Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me, that's when I found out that the author of all these accounts was my father.
Sir Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. Was it a Dr. John Wilson, perhaps?
I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock. When Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy, I mean.
It must have done. It must have done. What a weird way to say that. A technically correct but strange way. A British way,
I
even.
wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you. And at such a young age.
Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me.
Probably true.
Oh?
Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes.
Right.
Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually.
I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories.
Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind.
I think that's canon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just forgets shit instantly, probably because of the cocaine.
Well, he said it earlier in this game, too, that he just, like,
Moves
deletes
on.
it from memory space.
Don't need it. It's taking up too much RAM.
Oh, I see.
The other day it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
It was quite the shock for everyone.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris?
Don't seem to have appreciated my joke.
That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson.
Uh-oh.
I learned from his diaries. He's a doctor of medicine, you see.
In the books, he chooses to forget that the Earth is round. Nice.
That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land... Hold on, I'm putting it together. Is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson.
You can almost feel the Jimmy Neutron brain blast.
Brain blast. What is the judge? The Japanese
Alright,
judge.
I guess that would technically be me. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Ah, I missed somewhat audible judge.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in the case.
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Uh-oh. That's
You
right.
see-
Visiting
you see
professor
their
of
voice
medicine. Yeah. The
gets
closer
more
to Britain you
incomprehensible
get.
with age. Well, yes, or older.
Ah, that's true. That one did look kind of young. He wasn't quite gray. I mean, young
Right, right.
relatively.
Young for a judge by judge
Young,
standards.
young by Ace Attorney judge standards, where most of them look identical and are old as hell. That's right, visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. I'm the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Susato,
Yes?
perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
Anyway. Ah, my dear fellows! How good to see you!
Hey, Mr. Sholmes.
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? How the hell have you been keeping, then? If it ain't my old pal Ryunosuke.
Here in my very room.
We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed?
My what? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam?
Oh,
Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows.
Oh, another music box disc.
No, not another disc, Miss Susato.
Is it
This is the one
the
Gregson
same one?
demanded we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilden's disc. Why?
Did he steal it, or did he memorize all the bumps and recreate it in real time?
Oh. Oh, you know
Wouldn't
what?
that be something?
That's probably what happened. Because it's a different color.
Oh my.
Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruto, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may be even more adept at larceny.
No, I think apparently he just stole it.
No. Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Bruno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. Right. Don't. But Susie has such beautiful handwriting, she could write all of our menacing crime notifications.
Yes, I'd be delighted.
I'm just gonna pretend that this conversation never happened, I think. Anyway, what the hell? Man. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. A bar...
That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes?
Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. Other than cocaine.
I think cocaine, yeah.
If you will humor me,
Game of
my
the year
dear
wasn't Dread
fellows.
Peppa Hands.
It Takes Two was pretty good.
Peppa Hands. That's a publisher.
Sorry. Cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc.
I'll be taking whatever that is of McGilden's down the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over.
Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did, but I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars,
Press the
like
disc
this. Oh my god.
Into the caramel to make an impression of it.
That's amazing.
I
The
was
disc and all the
figuring it
minuscule
out as he was
protrusions have
talking
made
about
an
it.
image in the caramel. I love Ace Attorney. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting, the result of a precisely controlled solution. Why?
How extraordinary.
Why caramel? Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A single press in its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Well, what is it? I'm also quite curious.
You tell us, Mr. Sholmes, what music does the disc play?
What music do the dicks play?
Explain?
Well,
Dick's Play sounds
unfortunately,
like
I
the
have
name
no
of like
idea.
a sporting goods store.
It does. Like if Dick's opened up a McDonald's play place of some kind, or like a YMCA.
It's Dick's, but there's a big play place for all of the middle-aged dads that go to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Where they can all receive their enrichment for the day.
Right? There's just like a fake barbecue grill that you can just endlessly turn burgers over at.
They've got like foam golf clubs.
Yeah, they've got like a little fake tractor.
There's a car there.
You can even get
they
it
can
service.
just take apart, put back together.
Yeah.
They've got maps so they can plan various routes.
Oh, have you never heard of Dick's Sporting Goods?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Dick's Sporting Goods.
It's a pretty popular.
My
They've
dad's
got a
always
pyramid
telling
in
me
Vegas.
about Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah. No, you're thinking of Bass Pro Fishing.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I was thinking of Bass Pro.
Dick's is, I believe, much smaller.
No idea? I don't remember what the previous sentence was anymore. None whatsoever. Oh, what's on the disc, right. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Rudo? No, I hadn't heard of them until an hour ago. Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound.
You can actually get wood at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, that makes sense. They would sell camping stuff. And get some probably starter logs.
Well,
or
not
something.
only that, wood is a type of golf club.
You're
You
right.
get, like,
You're
woods.
right. Wink.
Yeah. Ha ha ha.
Wink.
Yeah, big golf section. There's like a little mini putt in the one that I've gone to, where you can like test the putters.
It's crazy. But they won't let you test the drivers. Fucking damn shame.
I
They
kill a
won't-
man in Dick's Sporting Goods by yeeting a golf ball across the store. He's over in the hunting section. He has no fucking idea that he's the prey.
Small protuberances spark the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making different notes. The first music boxes to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. I hate that word. It's a bad word. But over time, a new type of player was produced which uses discs such as these. Boko just subscribed for 3 months. Thank you. Oh, gifted
Thanks,
to
Boko.
Mala guy gifted a tier 1 sub to Boko. Ah.
Thanks, Mala guy.
Thanks, Mala
I
guy.
rescind my thank you to Boko.
I also do that. But over time, a new type of player was produced which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe.
Why exactly?
Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result.
It's wonderful to be able to enjoy music even when no performer is present.
But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Ah, I see. So that's why. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail.
Gamified.
There's also
subscribing.
equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Fucking what?
Every single one.
That's early for you. Always taking things too far.
But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What?
He needs space for music boxes.
He needs space for... Help me budget this, I'm dying.
My family's dying. It's like food of 50 pounds.
Music
Rent,
boxes,
100
£5,000.
pounds. Music boxes, 5,000 pounds. 1,800 guinea.
Magnus McGilded. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. They're gonna show me the fire again? Yeah, they are. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial,
Newspapers are still claiming it remains an unsolved case.
the murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. I forgot he was called that. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. By his ominous snickering, I'm gonna go with no. It would appear the case is not yet closed.
Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long.
Thank you, Iris.
Oh. Well, you must let me help you then.
Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do.
I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right.
Oh, that reminds me.
Pardon me.
Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he?
Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. Sorry, I should have done an impression there. Hold on.
Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom,
Were his words, I believe.
So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was.
Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom, gathering dust.
My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault.
And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure?
Well, there may be the occasional mix-up, caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley?
Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I would love to read it.
Is she going to ask how we knew what it was called? How?
Ah. I assume it's something to do with John Wilson.
What's going on
I don't
here?
remember, though.
Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Oh, right, there's something that nobody was telling me this morning. I forgot.
Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title?
Well, that's...
That's because Mr. Sato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. Don't bail her out of this one. Let her fucking bask in it.
But Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles has never been published.
What?
When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet.
I don't understand.
That's why he said he'd keep it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see.
So that's why the manuscript is at Windibanks.
And yet how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on?
I don't think he ever told
Susie.
us.
More like Sussy.
I don't remember him telling us anyway. Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. We're going to move on. Miss Lestrade.
This was a bad idea. I know I weren't welcome. I'm going.
No, wait! Miss Lestrade!
See ya.
We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. And you're gonna break up some awkward shit that was about to happen. Haven't we, Iris?
Oh yes, just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. I'm gonna kill you in the kitchen.
Right. Of course. I'm gonna die in the kitchen. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please make yourself at home.
Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? I don't know. A violin. What say you to some violin music? I won't take no for an answer.
I think it's just Mendelssohn, if I had to guess.
Meddlesome it is, then.
Meddlesome it is. Is that a tiny Textamogus? Oh yeah, the cat door that you can make with the cat door gun that makes cat doors.
That makes cat doors for some reason.
Meow.
Meow. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as well we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. Kitty cat. 15th April, 9:34 p.m. Narhado's Legal Consultancy. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it?
Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine.
I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now.
Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court.
Don't.
Naruto-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder?
What's the matter, Susato-san?
It's about the telegram I received.
Ah. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose.
I've been summoned.
What? Summoned? What do you mean? Attack position? Defense position?
Lamau.
Lol.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. I've been set. The The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me.
The Lord Chief Justice? When?
Tomorrow morning.
What? Then we have to start preparing at once.
Oh, no, that won't be necessary, Naruto-san. I've been summoned alone.
Oh, alone? What on earth for?
I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow.
What's all this? What's all this then? Whatever it is, it's making me
So
feel very,
listen.
very uneasy. Knock, knock. Oh, who could that be, I
Open up
wonder?
the door, it's
Probably
real
one of
with
the other two people that
non-stop
live here.
apostolate.
Good evening, friends.
Ah, Iris. Hello again. Oh, and Gina's also here. What are you doing in my office? Get out of here.
And Gina, too.
Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny?
Well, yeah.
How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea.
And so we did.
You know, I've learned so much today.
Oh, what in particular?
That you're a thieving bitch. All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful?
Ah, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques. We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? Weird.
I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it.
You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour?
Well, you see, I came to return this.
Wait, what? That's mine!
Ah, yeah, that's the thing where you just say, I is an I is an I, right? Well, guys, is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing? Translation jokes?
Yeah.
It would be funny if she was just on the jury society. Oh my, however did you?
I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius.
So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though.
Ah, thank you.
Alright then, good night.
Yes, good night. Yeah, I mean, I guess he doesn't have to wear the defense attorney armband, does he?
So this is your office, is it?
Guess not.
What do you think,
Don't you
Ginny?
love that? Yeah, I do. I'm a big fan. I'm glad that her character trait
I
is
think I
being
won't
good
fancy
at
me
things.
chances
That's
with
really
a royal
interesting.
what lives in a place like this.
It's you know, it always makes the best characters when their character
Yes, me
trait is
too.
being
Ha,
good
ha,
at
ha, ha.
everything they do and think about, as opposed to having to struggle or try at anything in their
Seems
life
as though
ever.
Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about.
I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript.
Yes, I suppose she probably does. Susato.
Let's see her child prodigy her way out of death claiming her father. Hmm?
Got him.
How will you solve this one? Riddle me that, Batman.
Hmm.
Iris, I... I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you?
Aren't you going to tell me?
No.
Susato
I'm
leaves.
I'm so sorry. I need a little more time. Please.
That's a death flag. I know she doesn't die because there's a game after this, but that's a death flag.
Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward.
A little bit.
No, not at all, Iris. Not at all.
I don't know what all this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, isn't it, Iris? This mantle script, or whatever you call it. It's not exactly a story I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister?
Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though.
And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then?
In the ground.
6 feet
Had to go
under.
away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time.
A very, very long
Longer
time.
than you think.
So I've never really met him.
You won't.
Oh,
You won't.
right. Come to think of it,
You never will.
I don't know anything about
He's
Gina's
dead.
parents either. Perhaps we should ask her.
Also dead.
I bet.
Stop asking people about their dead ass parents.
You know, Skate, come on, man. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story. I take it it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts?
That's right. I thought it was a fascinating.
I thought it was a fascinating. That's what I said.
But it's different somehow from the other cases, I mean.
Oh, how?
I don't really know, but it must be special in some way. Because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that.
Is there something that happens in the Hound of the Baskervilles between Sherlock and Watson? Because I don't remember it very well. It's been probably
No, I
a
just
decade
remember
or
Ghost Dog.
more. I also remember.
I
remember
remember
Big
Ghost
Ghost
Dog.
Dog. That's what I remember about
Big
it.
Ghost Dog. That's all I got. I've got
And
Big
that they always
Ghost
use-
Dog.
And that they always use like clips from it in standardized tests and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. I got nothing. Couldn't tell you.
Pains me to have to say this after you toiled over it for so long, Iris, but this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances.
But why not? It's one of my best works.
I'm not at liberty to say, not now, so please do not ask me. I bet it's attached to like an ongoing case or something.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Alright then, I won't.
But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. Now that's also a death flag. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it?
Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. I really guess my god it does. He's treating you like a child. I mean, that's what it is,
Well.
keeping secrets like that.
I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean.
Eh?
If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason.
I think so too.
She's already fucking read it, hasn't she?
You're all too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes.
Well, didn't
Jones
her
is gone.
dad, didn't Susato's dad know Dr. Wilson?
I think so, if I remember right.
Like, they talked about that in the very, like, first case.
I think so, yes. That sounds correct.
Sholmes is lying to Iris, I bet my life on it.
What?
Hurley's lying to me.
Hold on, I gotta examine.
Maybe it's because he knows Hounds of Baskervilles wasn't published till 1902. He's trying to fix the timeline. Yeah, that's probably what it
That's
is.
probably it. Your parents.
Probably it.
I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina.
And you won't. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have.
Oh.
Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us from the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by.
So that's why you're a pickpocket.
Sure. Nah, diving's me life, I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all afford to eat. It's like Robin Hood, ain't it? That's how I see it.
Oh, Gina.
I do think about it sometimes.
What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. That always sort of make everything right. But having listened to what Iris just said, seems like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh, that's me also. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you always want to meet them. It's true. I do want to see Daddy, so much. Well, I have bad news for you.
Are you interested in seeing a corpse or perhaps a cremated remain?
How do you feel about headstones? Sholmes is
How do you feel about using the theater of the mind?
Gina, what do you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he pulped that manuscript or whatever, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish.
Oh my, why would you think that, Gina?
It's simple. If that store was really old Winterbank's storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. It's in the attic, isn't it? And she just found it while she was cleaning.
Probably. Ah.
Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurdy would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Ha! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. But if there's lawyers at a lot of them, you just ain't realised it yet. I'm telling you, that manuscript ain't at Winterbank's. You would soon see if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a lawyer like the rest of them. Not necessarily untrue. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden in my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. That bitch is about as unreliable as they come.
It's mostly the cocaine.
He doesn't remember half of what he does or says. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny, or we should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina.
You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning, I insist.
Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then.
Iris. It sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. But deep down, she's still just a child.
Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night too, Naruto-san.
Do we have, like, beds up here in the office? Dr. John H.
I
Wilson,
assume.
Iris's father. But also, the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. Dot 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 dot. Nardo, Mr. Nardo. I assume that voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. I thought so. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe that girl has gone home, but I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's this about? Did she go over to Mr. Winterbank's to try to find the manuscript. Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbroker. Mr. Windibank's? Oh no! It's simple. If this store was really an old Windibank storeroom, there's no way someone halfway around the world, in other words, you, could have known about it. Sorry, Horace, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. Could Gina have gone? Seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruto. Sorry? Oh, no. No, not really.
You're right, Mologai. See, Iris still has ways she can grow. She could be slightly less sad about her dad being dead. Do you see how emotionally crippled she is, clearly, by the way she has a sad sprite?
Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once, is Susato. Miss Susato. "16th April, 1:14 a.m., Baker Street. The door to Windibank's.
So
It's
who's
open.
dead? And the lamp is burning.
It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let's hope it's nothing more sinister. What?
We get in there.
There's not a
It's
moment
Mr.
to lose.
Windibanks. He's
Clearly
dead.
something is afoot
He's shot
inside.
himself. He finally did it.
There's no one here. Ah, yes, there is. Hey! It's the fop and the short guy. The Popeye man.
It's hippity hip skippity hip. Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes!
What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruto. But after them, go! Right. Blast! I've lost them. Is this Gregson? Maybe.
Hello, what have we here? No, it's too
it's
many
just- it's
things
just
for
a
him.
Bobby.
It's just a Bobby. It on was raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that?
Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot.
Shot? Well, you
But-
can't shoot people. That's illegal.
That's illegal. With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibanks.
You got a license for getting shot.
Oh no. Oh, it's animated. That's not a good sign.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruto.
Dorado?
How bad is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door,
It doesn't even have blood.
in the storeroom. Hurry!
There's at least one corpse in there.
Where's the Bobby? Did it not come with me?
They couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford to animate it.
Oh, damn.
Oh, it was actually
Aw,
Mr.
man.
Windibank. Man, I wanted to voice him more. Hey, Gina.
It's Gina!
Which side, isn't it?
Sad, ain't it? To be continued.
By the Queen.
Save your current
Damn,
progress.
I wanted to do more silly voice. I was hoping he was gonna be a
Unfortunate.
witness.
I was also hoping that.
One said he's dead, and now we're gonna have to clear Gina's name.
Yep. Do you want to keep going, or? I mean, it's been less than
Nah.
an hour. All right, we can stop.
Bah.
That's fine. I need to do my pre-work, not sleeping. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. We'll be back. We might be back tomorrow for something. I don't know what yet, but something. Have a good night, everyone.
Can say.
But
Bye.
Hold on, I got buttons. Bye. I was in the wrong
Butt
menu.
fucking?
Bye. Butt fucking.